was there cooperation that you got from people who lived around? I'm asking you simply because, when Kashi redevelopment happened, I went to cover out there because there were this rumors there also at that time.
Absolutely.
That, you're relocating people who have been living here for hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years, right.
Generations of people whose families, one family after they were doing puja samagri, selling, their fathers sold puja samagri, they did all that, they are being relocated. So many of us went to do the stories to see whether that is true or not. And we found that people were willingly giving up their homes and moving to another area. And when the redevelopment was happening there, suddenly they found there were prachin temples, old temples within those houses, which nobody even knew about. So these are things which come up later. Did you learn from those experiences that how people cooperated? Anything like that happened?
Absolutely. We had sent teams both to Amritsar and to Varanasi.
Golden Temple.
Yeah. And learn about what kind of land acquisition processes they had undergone and what challenges they faced. We learned. We are very open about learning. Coming to this point about the risks involved, one is the temple ka safety and security, and second, playing with the sentiments of Sevayats. If some political party wanted actually to create an issue, they can stop the rituals from being happening, or they can do anything they want. So, but it was His grace, the Lord's grace, that He wanted it to happen. There was absolutely no problem from the Sevayat side. They cooperated willingly. They came forward. People cried not because they are losing their lodges, which was giving them a livelihood, not because their houses are being translocated. They basically cried or they were emotional because when they get up, they have to look at the Lord, Ka Neel Chakra. They have to do Mundia to the temple. When they do something, they have to look at the temple. That we are relocating them. That was the emotional problem they had. Otherwise, they all supported completely, wholeheartedly. Such a massive project, if I may say so, it's one of the thickly populated areas of the country, all surrounding Puri temple. One of the densely populated areas, and they have been living for generations at that place. And we didn't have a single land acquisition case in that place. We got the land acquisition done in record time.
And the funds for that?
The state government provided the funds. The Honorable Chief Minister provided generous funds to make people happy. They are losing a lot of stuff, but let them be compensated nicely. That was his spirit behind this whole thing.
And the inauguration happened just a couple of days before the Ram Temple inauguration, the Pran Pratishtha that happened in Ayodhya. Suddenly, a lot of it came into focus. I want to ask you, of course, you may say that the timing was not in the same manner, but was it just coincidence that also happened in January, this also happened in January?
To be honest, we wanted to complete this temple project in 2023 January. There was a Supreme Court case which went on for 6 months, 8 months or so. That's how it got delayed. Otherwise, our target was 2023, we were planning to finish the temple project. It's only because of the Supreme Court case, it got delayed. After the case was disposed, there were vested interest groups who didn't want this project to happen. There were political leaders who didn't want this project to happen. They all thought that Naveen Patnaik will get name or Naveen Patnaik is doing for elections. Actually, Naveen Patnaik doesn't have to do anything like this for elections. He wins otherwise also.
Yeah, he's not a political temple goer.
Absolutely.
Right?
In fact, he took such a big risk when everyone explained to him the risk involved. He never thought about a political mileage out of this. He wanted people of Odisha to remember him for creating this parikrama all surrounding, and he didn't want a legacy issue to continue on. As people say, 24 years, generally kings, emperors, those time people used to get that kind of a tenure. In democracy, it's very difficult for a leader to get this kind of a tenure, 25 years. So when he took oath for the 5th term, he was very moved, he was very emotional, and he decided that, Mr. Pandian, let's list out all the legacy issues of the state. People of the state have been so good to me. I have to finished all the legacy issues of the state. People won't forgive me or history won't judge me properly if I still leave legacy issues. We listed all the legacy issues and went one after another. This, I won't say it as a legacy issue, but this had huge challenges. As the Raja of Puri mentioned, 500 years nobody has done anything substantial for the temple. It was Naveen Patnaik who did. He risked his political career and he did this. He didn't do it for political mileage. It's not that you are going to construct something new in a fresh place. This is a temple in which so much people of faith is there, and one step going wrong, your politics is over and your government will fall. That's what people said.
The buzzword in Odisha is about this 5T, which is the Charter of Governance, which has transparency, technology, teamwork, time leading, and transformation. Of course, in the state, everybody knows about it. But I also want to know how this was put into action when you did the Jagannath temple, and was it just for that temple, or did you use this technology and teamwork for regarding other mutts also?
This 5T is a governance principle of the chief minister. He deploys this in every public service. And one classic example you can say is Jagannath temple renovation or any major project where every process is transparent. Teamwork, the chief minister means is involve the community, involve all the stakeholders. He has Sevayats, local people, political leaders. Take everyone along and make it their own project, make them own the project. That is teamwork. And then he fixes always time. In government, generally, we don't give value to time. There is no time audit. He introduced the concept of time audit for projects. If it is 3 years, you have to complete it in 3 years. If it is 6 months, you have to complete in 6 months. Otherwise, accountability will be fixed. If you do it well, you will be rewarded. If you don't do it in time, you will face the consequences. So that is the time, the seriousness of time he inculcated in all of us.
And all the other temples, or any other than the Jagannath Puri temple, what were the others?
There is Ma Samalai temple in the west, in Sambalpur. That also got hugely renovated now. The Honorable Chief Minister dedicated it some time back, a week back. In addition to that, every major temple in the state is getting renovated. The state will be renovating about 10,000 temples in the state. We are planning to apply for Guinness record.
Amazing.
In addition to that, if I may say, so many churches and so many mosques and so many gurudwaras are also being renovated. This is a time in which so many religious institutions have got a fresh lease of breath thanks to the support given by the state and the chief minister.
The spiritual governance which you were talking about.
Yes, the spiritual governance.
Right.
And going to the Puri temple, one of the biggest criticism which we faced was that the mutts are getting demolished. That was being politically raised to stall the project, and it was used to create agitation amongst the people's minds that mutts are being broken or age-old mutts are being destroyed. But actually, the mutts are covered with commercial establishments. They had lodges, they had shops, they had mandaps, commercial activity. So the government only removed the commercial part of the mutt and compensated them very handsomely. And earlier how the mutts used to look and now how the mutts used to look, they got a chance to breathe fresh air now. That's how I put it. In fact, for one of the mutt, which is called the Mangu mutt, this mutt, the case went up to Supreme Court. The then Chief Minister of Punjab wrote to our Chief Minister, and there were delegations from SGPC and others who came. So we explained to them the present mutt, the Mangu mutt, where Guru Nanak used to stay there and meditate looking at the Lord Jagannath temple. The mutt was actually surrounded by shops, and one of the shop ka septic tank, the toilet was above the Garbhagriha of the mutt. I'll show you photographs. Okay. That was the stage in which it was. In fact, we showed this photo and video to Supreme Court. When the case went to Supreme Court, they claimed that the Mangu mutt, which is a religious symbol, is being destroyed. It was not.
Sacred to the Sikhs as well, not just Hindus.
Absolutely. So we removed everything, and the Mangu mutt looks so beautiful now. In fact, all the mutts look like real mutts. The commercial portion is removed, and they have started breathing again. They look like mutts. That divine atmosphere is something to be seen, to be believed. Maybe tomorrow you'll see that. Okay. We'll show you the before photos and the after photos.
Right. It's a fifth term where he wants all legacy issues to be done. And in that term comes a pandemic.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what were the challenges you faced? Because you are putting his ideas and his thing into, fruition. So what were the challenges you faced? Did you tell him that, listen, there's a pandemic, so let's do this next term?
The temple project? No. We were very clear in what all needs to be done, and he doesn't believe in postponing things at all. He knows the timing, and he was very clear in what all needs to be done. In fact, pandemic also, we were one of the best states in handling the pandemic. We are one of the few states which took the entire burden of expenses, medical expenses of people, from testing to treatment to getting treated in hospitals, from ICU charges to everything was borne by the government. No, I don't think any state has done it. In fact, we took over all the private hospitals of the state. All their beds were taken over by the government, and they were paid for every bed, every medicine, everything was paid by the government. The entire COVID management was done out of the payment for all the expenses of people of Odisha were done by state.
The temple issue, I want to come back to that, because we saw what has happened in Puri, then the Ayodhya, now Kashi is coming in. And just before all this was this controversy about Sanatan Dharma. There are, politicians who say that Sanatan Dharma is, it's like a disease. It needs to be eradicated from this country. And in fact, from your home state, if I may say, it's from Tamil Nadu that this originated, Dravidian politics, and they say this. What is your view about it personally? What do you have to say about this?
I think they have to study a little more before making these kind of statements. If they study properly, they will understand what is Sanatan Dharma, and they will also start appreciating Sanatan Dharma.
So does it play a role in your life as a bureaucrat, as a politician? Does Sanatan Dharma play a role?
See, I strongly believe in Lord Jagannath and destiny and karma. So I don't have any confusions on all these things. I never thought that I'll get into IAS. I was studying in a government school. I never thought I'll top the national entrance when it was done for agriculture. I never thought I'll become close to a chief minister. I never thought I'll leave IAS and join politics. So there is some force which is pushing you, and I believe strongly that it is a divine force. So you surrender to that force, respect, be grateful. Everyone has to appreciate that. And it's a private space, one lives at that spot.
What do you have to say to the separation of religion and governance? Are they so, intersecting at a very, a powerful manner these days as compared to, say, when you joined the services?
I would say that respecting one's religion or respecting and giving support to religion cannot be seen something against the principles of governance. You support all religions.
Yeah.
You be fair to everyone.
What is it like in Odisha? Does religion, caste, all these play major roles when politics is practiced? Does it come up to the forefront during elections?
I don't think so. In Odisha, it doesn't have much of an impact. And our chief minister has ensured secular governance throughout. In fact, I'll say spiritual governance throughout.
Spiritual governance?
Yes.
That's interesting. Explain that. Why do you say that?
He appreciates every religion for whatever values it holds, and he supports everyone. If majority of the population is Hinduism, so you renovate temples, you restore temples. You are elected by the people, so you have to appreciate the faith of people. Some portion of the people want their mosques to be renovated, you do that. Some portion wants their churches to be restored, you do that. So there is space for everything. You don't have to this is not mutually exclusive. You can do everything, but you respect people's faith. That's very important for a leader. If 95% of Odisha has a Hindu population and they believe in Lord Jagannath, you have to do something for Lord Jagannath. That's why you are there for. You have to respect the people's faith. You honor the people's faith, but don't allow it to interfere in your government decisions. You treat everyone equally.
Right. You said that the temple project was supposed to be completed in 2023, but it happened in 2024. But what is happening is that many people say that there is competitive hindutva politics going on all across the country. Do you agree with that?
I can tell about Odisha. There is nothing like it because Naveen Patnaik doesn't believe in doing temple or church or mosque renovation to win elections. He does what he strongly believes in. He is very competent to win his election without doing all these things. So he doesn't believe in any of these things, and the state people appreciate him for what he does.
Why is it that Naveen Babu, as well as his father, they stayed in state politics, even though they are they are larger than life figures for the people of Odisha, but they never had ambitions to go beyond the state? Why is that the case?
I think Biju Babu was little more national than Naveen Babu. Naveen Babu was very clear in why he came to politics. In one of his interviews, he has told very clearly he was never interested in politics. He had no exposure to politics. Biju Babu had kept them away from politics, all the three children. So in one of his interviews, he has told very clearly that I came when after my father's death, they went to one of the orphanages, they met people, how much love and affection and trust they have for Biju Babu, and suddenly they felt orphaned. The people felt orphaned.
Yeah.
So that is something which made him take this call, which he was otherwise not willing to do. That's how he entered politics.